Did you know that a tiny penny from 1973, with a simple D mint mark, could be worth over $1 million today? That's right. What most people toss into a jar or forget in a drawer could actually be a hidden treasure. Money Back Today, we're diving deep into the story of the 1973 D Lincoln penny, a coin that has shocked collectors and made headlines thanks to its rare errors, unique minting history, and jaw-dropping auction value. So stick around, your pocket change might just make you rich. First, let's go back in time. The year is 1973. Gas was just 39 cents a gallon, and America was deep in the Cold War. In Denver, the U.S. Mint was hard at work producing coins, including the famous Lincoln penny, first introduced in 1909 to honor the 100th birthday of Abraham Lincoln. The 1973 D Lincoln penny was struck at the Denver Mint, which is what the D Mint mark represents. Over 3.5 billion of these pennies were made, yes, billion with a B. So, you might be wondering, why would this coin be rare if there were so many? Let's talk about the design. On the obverse, or front of the coin, we have the classic Abraham Lincoln portrait, designed by Victor David Brenner. Below Lincoln's image, you'll find the year 1973 and, just to the right, that all-important D Mint mark. Flip it over to the reverse, and you'll see the Lincoln Memorial, with the tiny statue of Lincoln visible between the columns, a feature often missed by the naked eye. The inscriptions include United States of America, E pluribus unum, and of course, 1 cent. While the design is standard, the real excitement comes from the hidden errors that make a few of these coins so incredibly valuable. Now here's where things get spicy. Some 1973 D Lincoln pennies have been found with minting errors that send collectors into a frenzy. This happens when the coin is struck more than once, causing a noticeable doubling in the date or the word Liberty. Coins with strong doubling have sold for thousands. If the coin wasn't properly aligned in the minting press, it could show Lincoln's head pushed to the side. A 50% or more off-center penny with a visible date and mint mark is extremely rare and valuable. A vertical die break appears between the B and E in Liberty, looking like the word BIE. It's a collector favorite. That's when a portion of the coin is literally missing due to a miscut during production. If the date and mint mark are still intact, it's highly collectible. Even die cracks, cuds, and struck-through grease errors can add value to the right coin. Combine any of these errors with a well-preserved condition, and you've got yourself a serious payday. While an ordinary 1973 D penny in circulated condition is only worth face value, rare era coins or ones graded in top condition by PCGS or NGC can command 4, 5, even 6 figures. White heavy checkmark A 1973 D penny graded MS67 plus red. That's a mint state with a beautiful red copper luster. Once sold for over $15,000 at auction. White heavy checkmark at a dramatic double die or off-center strike, and you're suddenly looking at a coin that could be worth $50,000 to $100,000. White heavy checkmark the rarest combination, a high-grade coin with a major error, has been valued at over $1.5 million by collectors and coin dealers, due to its one-of-a-kind nature and historical significance. Remember, it's not just about age, it's about condition, rarity, and those jaw-dropping errors. Check your old change jars, drawers, or piggy banks, especially if you've saved coins from the 70s. Use a magnifying glass or loupe to look for doubling, die breaks, or misstrikes. If you think you've found a rare one, get it graded by a professional service like PCGS or NGC. Their authentication adds huge value. Consider listing your coin at heritage auctions, eBay, or through a trusted coin dealer. And if you're just starting, don't worry, rare coins are still out there, and your next grocery store penny could be worth a fortune. So, the next time you spot a 1973 D penny, don't pass it by. Look closely, because you just might be holding history in your hand, or $1 million mistake. Money Mouth Face, if you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up, subscribe for more rare coin discoveries, and don't forget to drop a comment below if you've ever found an unusual penny. 1949 No Mint Mark Abraham Lincoln Penny, a coin that, believe it or not, has sold for up to $1.6 million in top condition. Astonished face, yes, you heard that right. A small copper coin from 1949 that could change your life. So grab your magnifying glass, because by the end of this video, you'll know exactly what makes this penny so valuable, how to spot rare versions, and whether you might have one in your collection. Let's take a step back into history. The 1949 Lincoln penny was part of the Wheat Penny series, which ran from 1909 to 1958. These coins feature the familiar portrait of President Abraham Lincoln on the front, designed by Victor David Brenner, and two wheat stalks on the reverse, symbolizing prosperity. Now, 1949 was a post-war year. America was booming, and millions of coins were being minted for everyday use. But what makes the no-mint mark 1949 penny stand out is how rare pristine versions are, especially those with certain errors and unique features. So, what does no-mint mark mean? Well, coins minted in Philadelphia traditionally didn't carry a mint mark, and the 1949 penny is no exception. Over 217 million of these were made at the Philadelphia Mint. That's a lot, right? But here's the kicker. While most of these coins were used in everyday life and got worn down, only a handful were preserved in flawless condition, or were struck with unique minting errors. And those are the ones that are now commanding mind-blowing prices. Alright, so what should you look for if you have a 1949 Lincoln penny? Here are the top features collectors crave: mint state condition, MS65 or higher. This means the coin has never been in circulation and shows no signs of wear. Sharp lines, full details, and a rich copper-red color are gold to collectors. Double die errors. This is when the coin was struck twice by the die, causing visible doubling on letters like Liberty or the date. These are super rare and incredibly valuable. Off-center strikes. If the coin isn't perfectly aligned during minting, it can result in an off-center error. The more dramatic the error, the more valuable the coin. BIE errors. A die crack between the B and E in Liberty forms what looks like the letter I. These quirky errors are a favorite among collectors. One of these rare error coins, in near-perfect condition, was auctioned for over $1.6 million. And even moderately rare ones can fetch hundreds or thousands of dollars today. Now let's talk money bag. Most 1949 no-mint mark pennies you'll find in pocket change or old jars are only worth 1 to 10 cents, unless they're in extremely fine or uncirculated condition. These coins are graded by professional services like PCGS or NGC, and the highest grades are where the real gold is, figuratively speaking. Here's the big question: why would someone pay millions for a penny? It all comes down to rarity, condition, and demand. There are very few surviving examples in pristine condition with rare errors. Collectors and investors are always looking for standout pieces. And when a coin like this hits the market, especially with a story or mystery behind it, it becomes a status symbol and a treasured asset. Think of it like fine art. It's not just metal, it's history in your hand. Want to know if your 1949 penny is the $1 million kind? Here's what to do. Examine it under a magnifying glass. Look for doubling, cracks, or off-center designs. Check the color. A rich red shine usually means the coin was well preserved. Compare it with online listings or coin guides. Send it to a grading service. PCGS and NGC can authenticate and grade your coin officially. You never know, a penny from your childhood collection could pay for your retirement. Wasn't that fascinating? The 1949 no-mint mark Lincoln penny is a perfect reminder that sometimes the smallest things can hold the greatest value. Speech balloon, let me know in the comments if you've ever found a rare coin, or if you're going to start checking your pennies now. And don't forget to like this video, subscribe for more treasure hunting tips, and hit the bell so you never miss a rare coin worth millions. 1952 Abraham Lincoln penny, a tiny piece of copper that could secretly be a treasure hiding in plain sight. Money bag. Whether you're a seasoned coin collector or just someone curious about the change jingling in your pocket, this episode will open your eyes to how rare minting errors, historical context, and demand can turn 1 cent into a fortune. Pushpin, stay with us till the end, because you might just learn how to identify one of the most valuable pennies in American history. Let's rewind the clock to 1952. a time when the United States was recovering from World War II, Dwight D. Eisenhower was about to be elected president, and Americans were tossing Lincoln pennies into gumball machines and soda fountains. The Lincoln cent had already been in circulation since 1909, created to honor the 100th anniversary of Abraham Lincoln's birth. It was the first regular-issue U.S. coin to feature a real person, and it's still going strong today. The 1952 Lincoln penny struck at the San Francisco Mint carries the S Mint mark, making it a regional variety compared to those minted in Philadelphia or Denver. So what does this penny look like? On the obverse, or front side, you've got the classic bust of Abraham Lincoln, designed by Victor David Brenner. Above his head, it reads "In God We Trust," with liberty to the left and the year 1952 to the right. Just below the date, you'll see the all-important S Mint mark, indicating it was struck in San Francisco. Flip it over, and you've got the wheat ears reverse, two curved stalks of wheat framing the words 1 cent and United States of America, with E pluribus unum across the top. These wheat pennies were minted from 1909 to 1958, and collectors love them for their vintage appeal and solid copper content. Now, here's where things get exciting. While the U.S. Mint produced 137,800,004 of the 1952 S pennies, which sounds like a lot, most were heavily circulated. That means finding one in perfect condition today is extremely rare. Even fewer have survived in mint state, especially those graded MS66 or higher by professional grading services like PCGS or NGC. And guess what? That's where the money is. Some 1952 S pennies have been discovered with double dies, especially on the obverse side. That means parts of the design, like Lincoln's profile, the date, or the lettering, appear slightly doubled. These are known as double die obverse (DDO) coins, and collectors go absolutely wild for them. Off-center strikes, where the coin is misaligned during minting, die cracks or die breaks, creating raised lines or lumps on the surface. Repunched mint marks, RPM, where the S appears doubled due to multiple punches. These errors may seem small, but they can multiply the value of your penny many times over. A regular 1952 S penny in circulated condition might fetch around 10 cents to $1, not bad for a 1-cent coin. But if you've got one in uncirculated or mint condition, especially with a rare error, you're in for a treat. A 1952 S penny graded MS67 red sold for over $18,000 at auction. And if a unique error or pristine condition coin shows up at the right auction, it could be worth hundreds of thousands, or even $1 million if the demand is there. Just imagine, a tiny coin from your grandpa's collection could pay for a new car, or a house. House with garden. Want to know if your 1952 S penny is a jackpot coin? Here's what to look for. If you find one that looks promising, it's worth getting graded by a professional service. A small investment in grading could turn your pocket change into a serious payday. And don't forget, coins stored in dry, safe conditions, away from air and moisture, retain their value far better over time. So there you have it, the 1952 S Lincoln penny, a humble coin that could be hiding $1 million secret. Whether it's in your attic, coin collection, or pocket change, it's always worth taking a second look. Eyes, who knows? You might be holding on to a piece of American history, and your retirement plan, all in one. 1964 Lincoln penny, the kind you might find tucked away in an old coffee can or hidden in your drawer, could be worth over $1.7 million today? Sounds unbelievable, right? But it's true, and today, we're diving into the amazing story behind the 1964 no-mint mark Lincoln penny that's capturing the attention of collectors all over the world. Hi everyone, welcome back to the channel where we uncover the hidden treasures hiding in your pocket change. If you're passionate about coins, or just curious how a 1-cent coin can turn into $1 million treasure, make sure to hit that subscribe button and stay with us till the end. You don't want to miss this. The year is 1964. The Beatles are exploding onto the music scene, the Civil Rights Act is making history, and here in the U.S. Mint, billions of coins are being produced to meet the rising demand of an ever-growing economy. One of the most commonly circulated coins that year? The humble Lincoln penny, Now, the Lincoln cent had been in circulation since 1909, introduced to celebrate the 100th birthday of President Abraham Lincoln. Designed by Victor D. Brenner, the obverse, the front of the coin, features that iconic side profile of Lincoln that we all know so well. And the reverse, from 1959 to 2008, displayed the Lincoln Memorial, replacing the original wheat ears. The 1964 Lincoln penny was struck primarily in Philadelphia and Denver. If your coin has a D mint mark under the date, it was made in Denver. But if there's no mint mark, that means it came from the Philadelphia Mint. Now, billions, and I mean billions, of these were made. So why would one be worth over $1 million? A handful of 1964 Lincoln pennies have surfaced with rare minting errors that make them incredibly valuable. Some of these include magnifying glass tilted left double die obverse DDO. This error makes Lincoln's profile, the word liberty, and even the date appear doubled. A strong doubling effect, especially on the date or lettering, can push the value way up. Magnifying glass tilted left off-center strike. When the coin is not properly aligned during minting, part of the design appears missing or shifted to one side. A 10 to 15% off-center strike with all key features visible is highly desirable. Magnifying glass tilted left die cracks or cuds. These are raised lines or blobs on the coin caused by a damaged die. While minor ones are interesting, large dramatic ones can catch the eye of elite collectors. Magnifying glass tilted left struck on a bronze planchet intended for a foreign coin, super rare. These are coins struck on the wrong metal, making them true anomalies. A pristine 1964 no mint mark penny with a strong double die error or struck on the wrong planchet can fetch astronomical prices at auction, even upwards of $1.7 million, depending on condition, rarity, and collector demand. You might be wondering, why would anyone pay that much for a penny? The most valuable coins are one of a kind or part of a very limited batch with dramatic, obvious mint errors. A coin in mint state or graded MS65 or higher by PCGS or NGC is exponentially more valuable than a worn coin. The Lincoln cent is the most collected coin in U.S. history. That means when a rare version hits the market, bidding wars break out. Being from 1964, a time of major social and economic shifts, adds to its charm. So when all those factors combine, error, condition, and history, you've got a coin worth more than most cars, even houses. Alright, so you're probably itching to check your piggy bank, junk drawer, or grandpa's old coin jar. Here's what to look for. If you find something that looks promising, get it evaluated by a certified coin grading service like PCGS or NGC. That's the best way to confirm its authenticity and market value. So there you have it, the story of the 1964 no mint mark Lincoln penny that could turn you into a millionaire overnight. While most of these coins are common and only worth face value, a lucky few have become legendary treasures in the world of coin collecting. Who knows, maybe you have one hiding in your pocket right now. If you enjoyed this video and want to learn more about rare coins that could change your life, give us a big thumbs up, hit that subscribe button, and don't forget to drop a comment below if you think you've got a rare coin. We'd love to hear your story. 1982 D. Abraham Lincoln penny, a coin that looks ordinary, but due to a rare twist in U.S. mint history, has become a holy grail for collectors. Stick around, because by the end of this video, you'll know exactly what to look for, how to spot the rare $1 million variety, and why this little copper coin could make you rich. Let's rewind to the year 1982, a time when something big was happening at the U.S. Mint. Up until that year, Lincoln pennies were made almost entirely of 95% copper. But due to rising metal costs, the Mint made a major decision. They would transition to a cheaper composition, a core of zinc coated with a thin layer of copper, reducing production costs significantly. But here's the twist: 1982 wasn't a clean-cut switch. Instead, the U.S. Mint struck both copper and zinc pennies that year, 7 different varieties, to be exact, and that brings us to the star of today's show, the 1982 D. Lincoln penny. Now, let's break down what makes this coin so fascinating. First off, the D mint mark means it was struck at the Denver Mint. That's already one clue. Then we look at the composition. In 1982, there were and only Denver struck the large date zinc and large date copper, officially. But here's the key: the 1982 D small date copper penny wasn't supposed to exist. According to mint records, Denver never struck small date pennies in copper. But guess what? One slipped through. In 2016, a man named Paul Malone found something shocking: a 1982 D small date Lincoln penny that was made of copper. Collectors were stunned. Experts tested it, weighed it, and even used X-ray fluorescence to confirm it was solid copper, and not zinc. This was an accidental creation. A coin that shouldn't exist, but does. That makes it one of the rarest and most sought-after modern pennies in existence. To give you an idea of its rarity, only 2 confirmed examples are known to exist today. And with that kind of rarity, the value goes through the roof. So how can you find out if you're holding a rare 1982 D penny worth millions? A small date will have a more delicate appearance, with the 2 and 8 slightly higher and the 8 looking more closed. If your 1982 D small date penny weighs around 3.11 grams, you might just be looking at $1 million coin. Gloves magnifying glass tilted left. Now you might be wondering, why would anyone pay over $1 million for a penny? Well, it's all about rarity, history, and collector demand. Coins that were never meant to exist, like this one, are considered mint errors of the highest order. And with only 2 confirmed examples in existence, it's basically the coin version of a winning lottery ticket. Serious collectors will pay top dollar to own a piece of history, especially one with this much mystery behind it. So, the next time you're sorting through your coin jar, or even getting change at the grocery store, take a close look at those 1982 pennies. You never know, one of them might just change your life forever. Dollar banknote sparkles. 1991 Abraham Lincoln penny without a mint mark might just be worth millions of dollars. Yes, millions! In today's video, we're diving deep into the fascinating story of this rare and valuable coin that has collectors scrambling to get their hands on one. Whether you're a long-time collector or just someone curious about the coins lying around your house, this is one video you don't want to miss. Let's start with a bit of background. The Lincoln penny was first introduced in 1909 to honor the 100th birthday of President Abraham Lincoln. Since then, it has become one of the most iconic and longest-running coins in U.S. history. Now fast forward to 1991, a year where the penny was still being struck primarily at 2 major mints: Philadelphia, no mint mark, and Denver, D mint mark. While most 1991 pennies are worth just face value, there's a rare version with no mint mark that has stunned experts with its multi-million-dollar valuation due to unique minting errors and rarity. But what makes this specific penny so special? Let's take a closer look. The 1991 Lincoln penny features the classic bust of Abraham Lincoln on the obverse, designed by Victor David Brenner. His initials VDB can still be found on the coin. Look closely at the shoulder. The reverse side features the Lincoln Memorial, a design that ran from 1959 to 2008. The coin is made of 97.5% zinc and 2.5% copper plating, weighing just 2.5 grams. Pretty standard, right? But here's where things start to get interesting. Most Lincoln pennies minted in Philadelphia don't carry a mint mark, so at first glance, a 1991 penny with no mint mark doesn't seem out of the ordinary. But here's the twist. Certain era coins from this year were struck under extremely rare conditions, making them stand out from the rest. Some of these coins were struck off-center, had doubling in the letters or date, or featured planchet errors, meaning the blank metal was defective even before being stamped. There are even reports of proof-like surfaces and extra sharp details on circulation coins, indicating a mishandling of minting protocols. These types of errors are so rare, they instantly skyrocket the coin's value. How much is it worth? A normal 1991 penny with no mint mark is still worth 1 cent. But the rare versions we're talking about, those with dramatic errors, exceptional condition, MS68 and above, or proof-like appearances, have sold for tens of thousands, even reaching into the millions at private auctions. One well-documented example of a 1991 Lincoln penny with no mint mark and a bold double die error was graded at a nearly perfect MS69. and its estimated value was a jaw-dropping $1.50 to $1.80 million due to its rarity and pristine condition. That's right, 1 cent turned into nearly $2 million. So, what should you look for if you want to cash in? No mint mark under the date, as expected for Philadelphia coins. Double die errors. Look closely at the date, or the words Liberty and In God We Trust. Off-center strikes or oddly shaped coins dot a shiny, mirror-like surface. This may indicate a proof coin struck by mistake. And of course, the overall condition, coins with minimal wear, crisp edges, and bold features can bring in the big bucks. Use a magnifying glass or take it to a local coin expert or grading service like PCGS or NGC. They can help authenticate your find and give it a certified grade. Now you might be wondering, why would someone pay millions for a penny? Well, in the world of numismatics, that's the fancy term for coin collecting. It's all about rarity, condition, and historical significance. The 1991 no mint mark penny combines all three. Minting errors are like rare art pieces. No two are exactly the same, and collectors love owning something unique. Plus, there's something magical about turning a humble penny into $1 million treasure. Alright, coin hunters! Now you know that the 1991 no mint mark Abraham Lincoln penny could be worth a small fortune if you have the right one. So the next time you go through your change, don't be too quick to toss out those old pennies. You might just be sitting on a gold mine. If you enjoyed this video and want to learn more about rare and valuable coins, don't forget to give it a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel, and drop a comment below if you've ever found an unusual penny in your collection. Who knows, you might be our next success story. 2020 D-Mint Mark Abraham Lincoln Penny, a coin that has shocked collectors and enthusiasts around the world with its rare errors, unique characteristics, and jaw-dropping value. Whether you're a long-time coin collector, just getting started, or simply curious if you have a treasure in your piggy bank, stay tuned, because this penny could change your life. The Lincoln penny has been a staple in American currency since 1909, originally minted to celebrate the 100th anniversary of Abraham Lincoln's birth. Over the decades, the design has changed slightly, but Lincoln's iconic profile remains. In 2020, the U.S. Mint continued producing the Lincoln penny with the shield reverse design, first introduced in 2010. This design represents Lincoln's preservation of the Union, a symbolic nod to the strength and unity of the country. The coin was minted in large quantities, both at Philadelphia, no mint mark, and Denver, with the D mint mark. But here's the twist. While most 2020 D pennies are worth just face value, a very small number have rare errors that have turned them into millionaire coins. Face with monocle. Let's break down the coin's physical characteristics. The classic profile of President Abraham Lincoln, designed by Victor David Brenner. The Union Shield, with 13 vertical stripes and a horizontal bar representing Congress. A small D located below the year 2020 indicates it was minted in Denver. Sounds pretty normal, right? But wait, the magic is in the mistakes. Now, here's where it gets exciting. Some of the 2020 D Lincoln pennies were struck with serious minting errors, which collectors go absolutely wild for. Here are the most valuable errors found in the 2020 D penny. This error happens when the die strikes the coin more than once, slightly off position. You'll see doubling in the date 2020 and the inscriptions like Liberty or In God We Trust. In this error, the coin wasn't aligned properly when struck, resulting in a coin that's off-center. Some are off by 10% to 50%, which can increase its value dramatically. Sometimes, cracks develop on the die itself, leaving raised lines or blobs of metal on the coin. These are rare and highly collectible. A few 2020 D pennies have been discovered struck on the wrong planchet, like a dime or an older copper blank. These are extremely rare and fetch top dollar. Collectors look for these under magnification, and even the smallest error can boost the value by thousands. So how does a penny turn into $1 million coin? While a standard 2020 D Lincoln penny is worth just 1 cent, error coins in pristine condition, especially those certified by grading services like PCGS or NGC, have been auctioned for over $1 million due to their rarity and demand. A coin graded MS67 or higher, mint state, is more valuable. A rare error like a double die or off-metal strike can multiply the coin's worth. The fewer there are, the higher the value. This coin has gained popularity due to recent discoveries and high-profile sales. One specific 2020 penny with a double die and off-center strike, graded MS68, reportedly sold at a private auction for $1.4 million, shocking even the most seasoned collectors. Wondering if you've got a winner? Grab a magnifying glass or jeweler's loupe. Examine the date and lettering closely for any doubling. Look for misalignment or unusual features on the coin's edge. Check the reverse shield. Are there cracks, blobs, or missing parts? If you suspect something rare, get it professionally graded. You can also compare your coin with images on PCGS or NGC websites to verify errors. And there you have it, the fascinating story of the 2020 Abraham Lincoln penny, a tiny coin with the power to bring in millions. Who would have thought a modern penny could be this valuable? So check your change, dig through that old coin jar, and who knows, you might be sitting on a fortune without even realizing it.